Hello everyone, welcome back to the Undercut podcast. It is Friday's video and we're going to be talking about Sauber and how bad they have been and what are the problems going on at that team, and is this going to be affecting Audi's arrival into the sport, and are the drivers good enough? What is going on at the team? Let's talk about Sauber. So, Jack, Sauber, this season, they've come into the season expected to be in the midfield fight, but they haven't really shown any potential. They are behind Haas, they are behind Williams, they are maybe thereabouts with Alpine, but really, they've been largely nowhere. Why?
The only thing that team has been fighting this year is their own pit box.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yep. And
they've been awful.
Yeah, we did a video on Sky, the coverage on Wednesday, and just before I hit record, I said that they genuinely, speaking of Sky coverage, they genuinely spend more time with them in the pit box than I don't think I've seen a stake on the track this season more than I have in the pit lane.
Well, apart from Japan, but that was only down to Bottas.
Bottas masterclass, by the way.
Yeah. That was the only. Before that, the only time you ever saw a stake was either in the wall with Joe, it's Audi,
yep,
or in the pit box.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm not really. I don't really know too much about why their pit stops are going wrong, but you do, Jack. You've looked into it, and what is the reason as to why?
I've not looked too much into it, not in depth really, but what I've heard is they've got nylon wheel nuts.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if other teams do, but I know that they do. And I know with nylon nuts, they're like locking nuts, essentially. So the nylon keeps the nut locked on. So, like, no matter how tight it goes, at any point it won't fall off. So it secures the tyre effectively. But the nylon makes it harder to get the nut fully tight, which we know the guns to tighten the nylon nuts are censored to know when the nut's tight or not.
Yep.
So to get it fully tight, maybe they've got to add more force, which they're not doing. Maybe they're not used to adding as much force as they need to. Maybe that's what's slowing them down, having to go back to put it back on again, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it could be to do with the nylon wheel nuts. It could be lack of practice. We don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a theory.
And people will say, well, why don't they just switch to a different material of wheel nut? Well, it's a safety measure, isn't it? So that if they don't put the tire on properly, it doesn't come off because the nylon wheel nuts will keep it.
Nylon should keep it locked in. That's what happens on normal nuts. It's the nylon inside that keeps it locked.
Yeah.
I mean, a life hack, for people, if you have nuts and you don't have nylon, gone off nail polish does the same thing.
Wow. Well, I mean, the more you know, I guess. I mean, I don't know who's going to use that fact, but someone might.
Well, you don't need to buy nylon nuts anymore. You can buy normal ones, and I don't know, your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, whoever. If you've got gone off nail polish, I'll use that. Done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I mean, they've had those troubles in the pit lane, as we know. That's just been a factor in what they have gotten wrong. Onto more of the design philosophy of that car. It doesn't seem to be working, whatever they're doing. And the issue is, at this moment in time, there's still a team that has nowhere near as much backing the facilities as your Red Bull, your McLaren. Yeah. Your Mercedes, your Ferrari, they're not there. They're not even there with Alpine. I'd say Alpine probably are, but they're one of the weaker teams on the grid, and not until Audi come in. Yeah. But the thing is this the benchmark that Audi are going to want to work with?
No, Audi are going to want to be, and I think what's the key here with Audi is initially they were coming in to partner with Sauber, so it was going to be Audi Sauber F1.
Yes.
But it is going to be 2026 Audi F1. They have brought Sauber out. So it's Audi. It is Audi F1. So in that regard, it's not going to be Sauber. So I would imagine they're going to upgrade, I would say, to an Alpine level. That's what they're going to want to do.
Yeah.
Is it going to be done there then straight away when they come in?
It can't be.
No, not with the base level that they've got.
And that brings us on to the driver problem. So it is, even though it's the Audi name, is it going to be able to attract the drivers that they're going to want the caliper of? So obviously the big names that are attached, Carlos Sainz, Hulkenberg, not as big of a caliper, but still pretty, you know. Like, I'm sure a lot of the midfield teams would take a Nico Hulkenberg. You know, it's these kind of drivers. Are they going to be able to take them?
It doesn't help with the form that Sauber are in.
No.
I think Hulkenberg, they can get. But if I'm Carlos Sainz and I'm looking at what Stake Sauber are doing right now, I'm like running away. Yeah. I ain't going anywhere near that.
And everyone says it's a project, but how much of a project is it?
The thing is, it is a project, but you got to remember, the project hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, so it probably doesn't look that appealing at all.
The project starts in 2026.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to bear in mind, Sainz is out of contract this year.
Yeah.
Sainz has to go to a team for next year. Is he going to want to do a year in that car that's coming basically last?
No, I don't think it's good for his career either.
It's really not good. That's a year of pain for Carlos right there.
But it's something he'll have to endure if he wants to go.
If he wants to go and he wants to be with Audi, he'll have to do it for a year.
Mm.
But then there's no guarantee that Audi are going to be able to be back up at the top of the midfield, nearly at Aston Martin level.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee of that.
No, there's no guarantee at all.
It's a risk.
It's a big risk, and that brings me on to the next point: are the drivers that they've got now competent and good enough for that Audi project?
Bottas is.
And Zhou's not.
It's hard to judge Zhou this year. I mean, his qualifying's not been amazing. His races have been a bit better. It's hard to judge Stick because they've been in decent positions, okay positions, and then the pit stops let them down.
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge them. I mean, Bottas in Japan, we could see how good and his experience came through there.
Yeah.
But Zhou, we haven't seen. He was in good positions a couple of races, and then the pit stops let him down, granted.
Yeah.
But I think we need to see a bit more from Zhou, especially in qualifying.
I agree.
That's the point.
Yeah. We need to see. We 100% need to see more from Zhou in qualifying, and it's one of them where you know, it's not just he has good races, but as we saw with Lance Stroll in Japan, Lance Stroll can have a good race, but if he qualifies down the bottom going out of Q1, it doesn't matter because, you know, I get that he's had a good race, but he's still not finishing in the points. If Audi are to become a team where they want to be consistent point scorers, maybe even challenging the top, Zhou...
They need drivers qualifying no lower than... They need fringe Q3 drivers.
If not Q3 drivers.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter how good Zhou's race pace is. Because if he doesn't because given how tight the field is nowadays, the field's so tight. If he's not qualifying in that top 10, coming through to try and get points is going to be so difficult. As we've seen for Lance Stroll. Like, Lance Stroll, obviously, is one of the more experienced drivers now in F1. He's no pushover. Some say he is, but he
is a pushover. I say he's a pushover.
Let's be fair now. He's not a pushover. He's got a few podiums under his belt. He's got a pole position. He knows what he's doing, right? He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get points. He knows how to race a car. He knows how to race other drivers. But when he clearly starts in a far superior car further down the grid, he still can't come through to get that point, which he should have done. He should have been 10th.
He started 16th. 3 drivers went out, 2 of which started ahead of him, and he finished 12th.
Yeah, so when you put it like that, it doesn't even sound that good. So What hope has Joe got? Starting in that, they're gonna need drivers that can pull it out of the bag in qualifying. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. And I think Bottas. I don't think Bottas is gonna be here much longer. So I think you got to look at a replacement for him as well. I would keep Bottas for a period of time. Like he is the Kimi Räikkönen of the the stake team, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think Bottas is doing a point where in the moment, it would be really harsh for him not to have a seat there next year.
Oh my god, I just choked.
Or a seat in Formula One next
year. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it would be really, really harsh. And because the thing is, Bottas is a race winner.
Multiple race winner. Multiple pole position sitter.
Multiple podiums. Beaten Lewis Hamilton. He's beaten Max Verstappen. He's beaten Sebastian Vettel. He's beaten all of these drivers. I think it, and he's still got it in him. I just think it would be unfair. It would be unfair, but I don't think personally Bottas is going to be there for much longer off his own back.
Off his own back, I'm not sure, but if you're at a point like Bottas over Sainz, you choose Sainz at the moment. Bottas over Hulkenberg, who are you choosing?
I don't know. You got to look at your future, though, haven't you? I
mean,
yeah,
but isn't Hulkenberg around the same age as Bottas?
Yeah, he is. But
what future is Hulkenberg compared to Bottas?
But it's more or less. I guess it's more about that. Like you were saying with what Williams wanted with Logan Sargent a few weeks ago, how they kept him because maybe they want that stability in the team. Maybe it's an idea of, okay, well, out of Bottas and Hulkenberg, who's more likely to be here for longer? And I personally just don't think Bottas will. I don't think Bottas will get sacked or fired. I don't think he'll be thrown out as Sauber. I think he just won't be there. I just think he'll leave off his own back.
Yeah, but you don't get rid of Bottas for Hulkenberg, especially not right at the moment.
I don't think you get rid of Bottas for most drivers, really.
No, you don't.
I don't think you do.
You really don't. I mean, Bottas is one of the top drivers.
It's just the relentless consistency in the setup as well. I mean, Hamilton commented on it before. He said Valtteri was his favourite teammate because
there's a reason as to why Valtteri. The reason isn't like Max fans or other fans will say the reason isn't because Lewis kept beating him and Bottas wasn't good. That's not the reason. Is Bottas's knowledge, his setup, his pace. That's why he's his favourite teammate.
Yeah, and if Hamilton wanted to say a driver was his favourite teammate based on how much he dominated them, he would have said Heikki Kovalainen. So
yeah,
like come on, I mean, there was no bigger difference in pace between them two.
You've got to remember, Hamilton beat Alonso. He's beaten Button. He's beaten Rosberg. These are all championship winning drivers.
Yeah.
Bottas isn't a championship winning driver, but he's his favourite.
Because of how well he developed the car, how well he was able to develop the setup, and that's fair enough.
That Mercedes of that era was not just down to Hamilton or the Mercedes team. It's Bottas's input as well.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, so and I mean, so we're talking about if Audi need these drivers, Bottas would be a good addition, but
Bottas and Sainz would be a lethal pair.
It'd be more about, is Bottas going to be there in the future?
Yeah, that's the only thing is if Bottas wants to continue his career. If Bottas wants to continue, Bottas and Sainz would be very good together.
Yeah, it would, yeah. But I think we both agree Joe maybe doesn't have, unless he can somehow pull, because what's this season now? How many seasons has he been in F1? I can't remember.
Oh, this could be only his second year, isn't it?
No, it's not. I feel like Joe's been here for ages, you know.
He hasn't.
I'm going to just look this up real quick, because I feel like Joe's been here for ages.
No, it's his third year. This is his third year.
Is it his third year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2022 was his
first
year,
race.
Yeah,
this is his first year. The third year, yeah.
That's his first race, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the year he's got to start, because last year he was thereabouts with Bottas, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he had a few good results.
So this year he's got to get back to that level again.
Yeah, yeah, he does. But with that said, that is our stake discussion. It's not looking too bright for them, but you know.
No, it's not as bright as the car.
No, well, that's definitely that's true. Yep. Well, we'll see you for the podcast on Monday.
Monday.
And yeah,